I'm guessing there's a completely different skill branch for melee.
Yes, and actually, we'll show you that when we get over to the warrior too. But they aren't just melee. So here we found a dynamic event. Yeah, do your best to take them out. This is a boss, so this one's tough for one person. But again, you didn't have to read any quest text. You didn't have to accept anything. You just saw a giant boss roaming through the world with a bunch of little hatchlings with it, and we're instantly able to participate in this event if we want to.
Is that something that you guys have taken from Lineage 2? Because I know they had raid bosses very similar to this.
So we have a lot of bosses. It's something you see in a lot of different MMOs, Lineage or Guildwars 1 even. There are a lot of bosses scattered around the game. So that's something that's a pretty common thread across these games. But trying to take them and put them out in the middle of a game world like this, where everyone can fight against them, and then we've set them up so they scale in difficulty as part of these events. So the more people who show up, the harder this boss gets, so that the fight is an even fight no matter how many people are here participating, which is something that's very unique for just our game.
Very cool.
So what you'll notice that there's enough people here now that the broodmother will actually occasionally do a tail whip, where she spins around in a circle and she sends everyone around her flying. That's an ability she unlocks when there's, I think, 3 or 4 people here fighting her. So it becomes a more interesting fight with this many people.
Really?
Yeah.
Are these NPCs, or are they people set up for the demo?
These are other players playing here with us.
Oh, okay.
So all those people running around us are all just other players. Many of them are actually down on the show floor right now. All right, so we've hit the point here where we've lost all our health, and one of the new things about Guild Wars 2 is when you lose all your health, you get a last chance to try to survive. You get these 4 skills pop up, and they're profession specific. And if you manage to kill anything before your health bar runs out, you actually stand back up again, and you get some of your health back. In this case, Leah was unable to do that, so she was then defeated. So there are 2 things that can happen at this point. Somebody can run up and resurrect her, and any character in the game can resurrect. It's as simple as running up, hitting F, and kneeling down, and you slowly get their health back and pop them back up to life. So it allows, so here's somebody coming right now, some very kind soul coming to rescue her. This makes combat so that it's constantly going on, and you don't have to go find your corpse and run halfway across the map to get back into combat. So these are our cities. These are also persistent areas shared between all the characters. These are locations for merchants and a lot of different fun content you can do. This is where players might meet up and form parties and everything as well.
What's the inspiration on the city? Victorian or castles?
So, you can see it's kind of a mix of different art style inspirations here. You'd actually have to talk to our art director to get a sense for where he get all of this from. We're more on the content design side.
Do you know how many years apart Guild Wars 1 and 2 would have taken place?
250 years. So one of the things that you can do in cities is we've tried to add a lot of mini games. We call these activities all around the cities that people can go do for fun together.
Nice.
So for example, this one here is a shooting range where people can compete against each other for high scores. And this isn't level dependent. You can go do it anytime you want. There's a perpetual bar brawl where you can go fight other players in a bar brawl and smash each other over the head with bottles and throw chairs and everything.
Like a light PvP type thing?
Yeah, they're just sort of fun, casual PvP types. And each one of the cities in the game has a bunch of different mini games like that.
Is there real PvP?
There is, yes. There's 2 forms of real PvP.
Okay.
And we can talk about PvP more when we're done with the demo. We'll go into details on that then.
Can this whole city, this is one of the cities that can be destroyed or no?
No, the large cities cannot. All the towns and villages and everything out of
the ones on the countryside, those ones can be destroyed.
Yeah. The 6 major cities are the only safe locations in the world.
Completely safe?
Completely safe, yeah.
Okay.
So we've gone up to the upper district of Divinity's Reach now. This is where the Queen's Palace is, where the ministers live, and this is the opulent gardens that the nobles like to hang out in. And this is an environment we're especially proud of. You can see the game has day-night cycles, so we are here at night, and you can see the lights reflect completely differently at night here in the garden. All of this is the city.
And that's just one of 6?
One of 6, yes. And all of this is persistent areas shared between all the characters at the same time. And there is one district, the Salma district, that is instant. This is your character's home instance. This is where your character lives.
Okay. Do you have a home, like a storage place type home?
So for the humans, you actually have an entire district that you, basically, this is the area you grew up. This is where the people you know live. As you progress through your personal storyline, the things you do are reflected in your home instance and change, so you can come back and you can see differences there. If you go on a personal story chain to save a village of Grawl, who are like the Ape-like guys from Guildwars 1, and the village gets destroyed but you rescue the people, they can end up moving into your home district and being your neighbors, and you can come back and you can talk to them as you progress through the game, and their dialogue will change to reflect the things you've done in the game world.
So you'd be basically allianced with them at that point?
Right, and they basically live in your home district. A lot of your content that you actually experience in your personal storyline occurs in your home district and changes as well. So,
could you also made them enemies in the same sense?
Not in that case, no. Those are guys that you try to save, and you either save them or don't.
Okay.
So this is a place where you're actually on your personal storyline, and we're experiencing a different personal storyline because of the character biography information we filled out earlier. So here is the innkeeper and his daughter that we were told earlier came to visit us when we were in the field hospital. If we were a noble, we would have come home and found our friend Duke Farron was throwing a giant party for us in our home district. If we were from the city streets, we would come back and find that our best friend Quinn is in trouble with a gang that the two of us used to be a member of. So you get completely different storylines that you get to experience based on those biography choices. In this case, as a commoner, Big Nose Ted, who's over there on the left, he's off screen right now, but he is slightly bigger nosed. Big Nose Ted and his gang are about to break out in a giant bar brawl in the middle of our friend's tavern, and we end up having to deal with them in the bar brawl, and our personal story progresses as we end up having to deal with Big Nose Ted.
So the personal story is triggers. Like one event will trigger after the previous one's completed?
Yeah, it's not...
Because you know that's going to happen next.
I know what's going to happen next to that one, yeah. But however, as you're playing through it, you actually have to make a lot of decisions that branch and change your personal storyline. So, for example, later in your personal story, you could have to choose between saving an orphanage or a hospital that bandits are about to attack. And they're going to attack both of them simultaneously, and you can only save one of them. Whichever one you choose to save, the other one will be destroyed, and it'll be destroyed permanently. When you come back to your home instance, it'll be a collapsed building, and the orphans will be living outside the building on the city street. So those things will have a direct impact on your personal story, on your home instance, and you have to make those decisions. And we try to layer choices like that all through your personal story as you go through the game.
So you could be gone for a week and your home instance could be just ruined.
Well, it would have had to have been content you experienced, but yes.
Okay. So other players don't necessarily... Can other players interfere with your exact... what goes on with your personal story?
They cannot interfere with it. They can come along and help you if you want to bring them along. So, you know, if you guys want to play together and you're on your personal story and you want to come along, you can invite him to your party, and the two of you guys can go play through your personal story content, and then you can go help him with his. You can also go see each other's home instances at any time. So if you got some rad stuff in your home instance you want to show off, you're like, man, check out this cool statue I got from doing this personal story chain, you can bring her with you anytime and show her your home district, and you guys can go around and tour it and see the stuff in there.
Okay, awesome.
So in the interest of time, we're going to skip out of this, and I would encourage you guys, if you want to see more of the personal story and experience that, go down to the show floor, make a human character, and really dive into that and play through it. You can see a lot of the personal story and see the different storylines based on which biography choices you fill out. But what we're going to do now is we're actually going to head over, and we're going to switch to the char. So you asked earlier if the environments are different. You will notice that the environment that the char get dropped into is very different than the one that we were seeing for the human. This is a mid-level map. This is a level 40 to 50 map in the game.
Oh, wow. Are the char bad, per se?
So the char in Guildwars 1 were the bad guys.
Yeah.
They have now signed a tenuous peace treaty with the humans over the last 250 years as they turn to fight a lot of the same enemies. So the Dragon's Awakening has forced the Char and the humans to become allies. Neither of them are very happy about it. Both of them complain about it constantly. But they do fight on the same team together. So you are a good guy if you're a Char. And Lee is playing as a Char warrior, so you're going to get to see a different class here. So one of the things that we told you earlier is as an elementalist, you can change attunements, which change out the first 5 skills on your skill bar. With the warrior, your first 5 skills are based on the weapon that you have equipped. And here you can see the Shatterer, one of our giant bosses we just flew in. This is an event, just like any other event that we showed you early in the game. This dynamically scales in difficulty based on the number of players that show up. So this is the kind of thing where in a traditional MMO, you would only find giant bosses like this at the end of dungeons, where only super hardcore players would get to see